It seems as though Webkinz has gotten themselves into a little bit of trouble and their fans are not happy with them. I never thought I would be making a video about this type of topic involving Webkinz specifically because I never thought something like this would happen. But Webkinz is currently under fire for using AI. I know AI is kind of a hot topic right now, and some people have their own opinions on it, and mainly generative AI kind of seems to be the problem that people have, and unfortunately, that is the same kind of AI that it seems as though Webkinz has been using. The Webkinz fan base is made up of a lot of creatives, so it's very obvious why we would be a little bit upset that Webkinz is using generative AI in their creations, in their posts, in anything really. So the main thing that happened involving AI was on November 17th, Webkinz posted a new music video for Artifact. And when you first watch the video, it seems fine. It seems normal, like nothing weird is happening. But then as you look closer in the background, you can start to see some things that don't quite make sense in the way that some AI doesn't make sense because it doesn't quite understand how to render things correctly. And you can tell pretty quickly that these backgrounds were not made by a person. One of the biggest telltale signs from this music video is this specific image where you can see a bunch of coats hanging up in the background, and there's literally a hand sticking out of the sleeve of one of the coats. So unless someone got hung up like the babysitter in Cat in the Hat, this just doesn't make sense, and that tells me 100% that this was created by AI. And it was actually confirmed by Webkinz that some of the images in the music video were created by AI. However, Webkinz did say that the images were trained off of other art pieces that they themselves created, which I don't know if that makes it any better, really, but that is what they said. So they did admit that they did use AI in their Artifact video. Since that video was posted, someone arranged for a protest to take place on November 23rd in the Webkinz parks in order to speak out against Webkinz' use of AI. I'm not entirely sure what their goal was by filling up the parks with as many Webkinz users as they could. I'm not sure if they were trying to crash the game, if they were just trying to make a statement by letting Webkinz know how many people are here and how many people are actively playing the game that are against their use of AI. I'm not 100% sure, but I decided to check out what was going on, and there were quite a few people just hanging out in the park. Something that I found interesting, though, was that they were encouraging people to just leave their computers on and logged in and just sitting there in the park. But I also have kind of a problem with this because that's definitely a waste of energy, and a big problem that people have with AI is that it uses a lot of energy. So it did seem kind of counterintuitive to me that this is the way that they chose to protest against AI. I think the better option is the one that people are currently kind of focusing more on, and that is protesting the Black Friday sales that are currently going on as of the time of this recording. There's been a lot of posts on Reddit and on the Facebook group saying how people are choosing not to spend their money on Webkinz, on deluxe memberships, on anything on the website for the entirety of this sort of protest until they receive an apology, an active statement saying that they will not be using AI in the future, and to acknowledge that they do use AI, which we did kind of already receive in a direct message that someone decided to share as they were reaching out to Webkinz. But an official statement would be nice, saying that they admit to using AI in specific spots. But this instance with Artifact isn't the first time Webkinz has been accused of using AI. There have been plenty times in the past I've seen comments of people saying that different items in the game were created with AI. There was a post created on November 7th where they were showcasing the 3 newest Webkinz plush, and the backgrounds definitely look a little off. But one of the social media people of Webkinz actually did confirm that these images were not AI created. They were taken in a photo shoot type situation, so that one was actually sort of debunked, unless, of course, they weren't telling the truth, which is not what I'm saying. I'm not accusing them of that. So, as far as we know for sure, the only time that Webkinz has confirmed used AI is in this artifact video. In their response to this user in a direct message, they did say that it was either they released the music video without a video or they used generative AI. This is something that I think is very dismissive and kind of silly. They could have just postponed the video until they could find the time or find someone to create the actual background. And even if it was a little lower quality, I really don't think we would have minded. We mind a lot more that they're using AI instead of just a lower quality video. To say that they weren't willing to release the video without the use of AI is very, very dismissive and frankly kind of lazy. And I feel bad saying that about Webkinz because I love Webkinz, and Webkinz has been a huge part of my childhood and my adulthood, and I'm just very disappointed in Webkinz. Some users are also encouraging others to actually reach out to Webkinz and send them an email saying how disappointed they are in what's happening right now and their use of AI, which I think is a much better approach to the protest versus the flooding the parks and leaving your computer on and logged in. I just have a specific problem with that bit because it does seem very counterintuitive, like I said before. But this seems like a pretty good way to protest because as much as Webkinz is a very wholesome place most of the time, they are a company and they do care about money, and when they know that their money's on the line, hopefully they'll listen to their fan base. Now, as of the time of this recording, it's been about a week since everything started, and there still has not been any kind of official statement from Webkinz about their use of AI. They haven't addressed the protest. They haven't addressed anything so far. And I'm kind of just waiting for them to hopefully say something and hopefully make a promise to us that they will not be using AI in the future. I've worked directly with Webkinz on a collab before when they were releasing their new Webkinz, but I'm not sure that this is something that I would be willing to continue to back up if they don't continue to listen to their customers, which I feel like Webkinz usually does a really good job at listening to their customers because everything that we've talked about just generally online, they've changed. In the first release of the new Webkinz plush, the Webkinz all had these weird little cutie marks that I talked about before, and we all hated them. There also was no Magic W, and the Magic W is kind of the iconic piece of Webkinz plush, and they decided to not include the Magic W on the new Webkinz, and that was really kind of sad, but they heard us, and they have changed that for the future release of Webkinz. Like, the new ones, they don't have the weird cutie marks, and they have the Magic W back. So we know Webkinz can hear us. We know they listen to us. If they do continue to use AI, I'm not sure what my plans are because I do love Webkinz, but at the same time, I'm not sure that that's something I could continue to support. If they're just blatantly willing to go against their fans and their customers and they just brush them aside and dismiss us on this really big kind of important topic. Like I said in the beginning, a lot of Webkinz fans are creatives, and creatives care a lot about, we care a lot about AI and how harmful it can be to not just the environment, but also to other artists and other creatives. I'm sure someone would have been so excited, like I would have been so excited if Webkinz reached out to me and was like, hey, can you design us a background to use in a music video? Like, I can almost guarantee that anybody would do that for free. Like, Webkinz wouldn't even have to pay us. Like, we would make their background for free if they reached out to us. But instead they chose to use generative AI and then say that it was either this or there was no video. And that seems just not right to me. Sorry, this video is kind of a little bit of everywhere. I don't have a whole lot of experience in this type of news reporting video, but I just had to say something about this because it's just not right. I mean, I feel like it's not right what's going on currently in this whole situation. Like, it doesn't affect me personally, but I know it does affect other people, and that bugs me. So here is my official statement to Webkinz. You need to listen to your audience. You need to listen to your customers. You need to listen to your fans. And your fans and your customers care about your use of AI. It may seem harmless, but it's not. So yeah, this was my little weird take, my little update on the current situation that's going on with Webkinz. I hope that Webkinz makes some kind of actual announcement addressing what's going on and acknowledging the protest. And I hope that Webkinz can make a pledge to us that they won't use AI anymore in the future. But yeah, Webkinz, I love you, but do better.